Once upon a time, there was a poor farmer who had many children and struggled to feed and clothe them. Though all his children were pretty, his youngest daughter Emma was the most beautiful of them all. One stormy Thursday evening, as the wind howled and the rain beat against the windows, the family sat together around the fire. Suddenly, there was a knock on the window. The farmer went outside to see what it was, and to his surprise, a large white bear stood before him. "Good evening," said the bear. "Good evening," replied the farmer. "I will make you rich if you give me your youngest daughter," said the bear. The farmer, eager to be wealthy, wanted to agree, but thought it best to ask Emma first. When he went inside and told her about the bear's offer, she refused. But after much convincing and hearing how it would benefit her whole family, Emma finally agreed. She packed her few belongings and got ready to leave. The following Thursday, the white bear came to take Emma away. She climbed on his back, and they traveled a long distance. As they journeyed, the bear asked, "Are you afraid?" "No," Emma said confidently. "Hold tight to my fur and you will be safe," the bear told her. They traveled far until they reached a grand castle inside a mountain. The bear knocked and the door opened, revealing rooms filled with gold and silver. The bear gave Emma a silver bell, telling her to ring it whenever she needed anything. When Emma rang the bell, she was instantly brought whatever she desired. That night, Emma grew tired and rang the bell for a bed. She was taken to a beautiful bedroom with silk pillows and curtains. As soon as the lights were out, a man came and lay beside her. Emma never saw him because he always left before dawn. She had no idea that the bear turned into a man at night. Days went by, but Emma became sad. She missed her family and told the bear she wanted to see them again. The bear agreed, but warned her never to speak to her mother alone. If she did, it would bring great trouble to both of them. Emma promised to obey. On a Sunday, the bear took her to her family's new home. There was great joy as her family welcomed her back, grateful for all the wealth she had brought them. But in the afternoon, Emma's mother insisted on talking to her privately. Though Emma resisted, she eventually gave in and told her mother everything. How the bear turned into a man at night, but she never saw him, and how lonely she felt. Emma's mother, horrified, told her she might be sleeping with a troll. She gave Emma a candle and told her to light it while the man slept so she could see his face. But she warned Emma not to let any candle wax fall on him. That night, Emma lit the candle and saw the most handsome prince she had ever laid eyes on. She was so overwhelmed with love that she bent down to kiss him. But in doing so, she accidentally let 3 drops of wax fall on his shirt. The prince awoke instantly. "What have you done?" he asked. "You've brought misery upon us both. If you had waited just 1 more year, I would have been free from the curse. Now I must go back to my wicked stepmother who lives in a castle, east of the sun and west of the moon. I am also forced to marry a princess with a nose 3 feet long." Emma begged to go with him, but he told her it was impossible. However, he told her she could try to find him, even though it was a journey no one had ever succeeded in. When Emma woke the next morning, the prince and the castle were gone. She found herself alone in the middle of a dark forest. With no choice, she began her search, walking for days and days. Eventually, she came upon an old woman sitting outside a mountain, holding a golden apple. Emma asked if she knew the way to the castle east of the sun and west of the moon, where the prince lived. The old woman said she didn't know, but lent Emma her horse, telling her to ride to another old woman who might know. She also gave Emma the golden apple to take with her. A young girl named Emma rode her horse for a long time until she reached a mountain. There she found an old woman sitting outside with a golden comb. Emma asked her if she knew the way to the castle that was said to lie east of the sun and west of the moon. The old woman replied, "I don't know exactly, but I know it is a long journey and you may never get there. However, you can take my horse to another old woman who lives nearby. She might know more." When you arrive, tap the horse under the left ear, and it will return to me." The old woman also gave her a golden comb, saying it might be useful. Emma set off again, traveling a long and tiring distance. She finally arrived at another mountain, where an old woman was spinning with a golden spinning wheel. Emma asked if she knew where the castle was, and the old woman replied, "I don't know much more than the first, but you might want to visit the East Wind. Maybe he knows where it is." "You can take my horse, and when you reach the East Wind, just tap the horse under its left ear, and it will return." She also gave Emma the golden spinning wheel, suggesting it might come in handy. After many days of traveling, Emma finally reached the East Wind and asked if he knew the way to the prince who lived in the castle east of the sun and west of the moon. The East Wind replied, "I've heard of the place but never traveled that far. I can take you to my brother, the West Wind. He is stronger and might know." Emma climbed onto the East Wind's back, and they flew off. When they arrived, the East Wind asked the West Wind if he knew the way. The West Wind said, "I've never been there either, but my brother, the South Wind, has traveled much farther than I. Let's go to him." Emma sat on the West Wind's back, and off they went to the South Wind. The South Wind greeted them, but said he didn't know how to get to the castle either. "But my brother, the North Wind, is the strongest and the oldest of us all. If anyone knows, it's him." So Emma rode with the South Wind to the North Wind's home. When they arrived, the North Wind greeted them with a mighty roar. He agreed to take Emma to the castle, but warned it would be a dangerous journey. "You'll have to sleep here tonight so we can leave in the morning." Emma agreed and spent the night at the North Wind's house. Early the next morning, the North Wind puffed himself up to an enormous size and carried Emma high into the sky. The winds were fierce, and storms raged below them. They flew over the sea for what seemed like an eternity, and the North Wind grew weaker and weaker. Just as his strength was nearly gone, they reached the shore near the castle. The North Wind dropped Emma there before collapsing from exhaustion. The next morning, Emma sat beneath the castle windows, playing with the golden apple she had brought. A woman with a long nose, who was supposed to marry the prince, noticed her. "What do you want for that golden apple?" she asked. Emma replied, "It's not for sale, but I'll trade it if I can spend one night with the prince." The woman agreed but gave the prince a sleeping potion, so that Emma could not wake him during the night. The next day, Emma tried again, this time offering her golden comb in exchange for another night with the prince. But the woman with the long nose drugged the prince again, and he remained asleep. On the third day, Emma offered her golden spinning wheel, and the woman agreed once more. But by this time, the prince had learned about Emma's visits from people in the castle. That night, when the woman tried to give him the sleeping potion, he pretended to drink it but secretly threw it away. When Emma arrived, the prince was awake. She told him everything that had happened. The prince said, "You've come just in time. I'm supposed to marry the woman with the long nose tomorrow, but I will not. I will tell her that she must wash the stains from my shirt. But only someone born of Christian parents can do it. She won't be able to, but I know you can." The next day, the wedding preparations began. The prince showed the woman his shirt, stained with tallow, and said, "You must wash this clean or you cannot marry me." The woman and her troll family tried, but the more they scrubbed, the worse the stains became. Finally, the prince called Emma in to try, and as soon as she dipped the shirt into the water, it became as white as snow. The prince declared he would marry Emma, and the trolls were so angry that they all burst and disappeared forever. Emma and the prince freed the people who had been imprisoned by the trolls, took as much gold and silver as they could carry, and lived happily